Carter, Republican from Georgia and member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, joins me right now. Congressman, I assume you were listening to that interview. What do you make of the Energy Secretary's comments?
Well, I think he's spot on. I mean, let's face it, this is what this president is trying to do. He's trying to bring us back to an energy dominance that we once had. And after the Biden administration crushed the energy sector. And by the way, the plant he's in Griffin, I have met with these people before, and they were on the brink of having to shut down. So thank y'all for being there and recognizing just how important this is. Georgia's been a leader. Georgia's been a leader and #1 state in which to do business for 11 years in a row. I'm very proud of our state and very proud that we're able to have a business like this to sustain.
It's a great state. Congressman, next one for you. President Trump just releasing his 2026 budget proposal. It's a kind of a skinny budget. The top line is about $1.7 trillion. It includes non-defense and defense spending. It does not include spending related to Medicare and Medicaid. What do you make of this growing divide among House Republicans over using cuts in the budget before they pass any kind of tax bill?
Well, first of all, what we're trying to do with Medicaid is to save it, is to stabilize it, sustain it. Let's face it, Medicaid is for the most vulnerable in our population, for the aged, the blind, disabled, for mothers, for children. And we need to stabilize that and sustain that program. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to save the program. And look, what President Trump has proposed in his budget, I think, is outstanding. He understands how important it is for us to get government spending under control. Unlike the Biden administration, who wanted to depend on other countries and increase our economy by increasing government spending, this administration and this president understands that we need to have American manufacturing, that we need to make sure that we're cutting down on government spending. And this proposal that he has sent to us, I applaud it. I think it's right on.
But, you know, that we just had Senator Johnson on from Wisconsin. He said we should have had separate bills, one for taxes, one for budget. To put it in one big, beautiful bill is just too much. And he said he may even vote against the bill if it's just on taxes and doesn't include the whole shebang. What do you say?
Well, you know, I'm in favor of the one big, beautiful bill philosophy. And I think that's the way we should go. After all, what we're trying to do is prevent the largest tax increase that Americans would ever see. What we're trying to do is extend the tax cuts that this administration put in place their first time around that resulted in a booming economy that we had and we can have again. So I have to respectfully disagree with Senator Johnson on this.
And by the way, you don't have to pay for extending the tax cuts. We have had an increase by 48% of revenue after the tax reductions in 2017. So, I mean, sometimes you have more economic activity that provides more revenue for the government as well. I want to give you another one, Congressman. 38 Republicans now calling for a full repeal of the Democrats' energy tax credits passed back in 2022. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, let's make sure we understand now. Yes, the IRA was a Democratic bill, but at the same time, parts of it, like many omnibus bills, I think we should look at and really study, because if it results in stabilizing our supply chain, if it results in domestic manufacturing, why would we want to get rid of that? And we might want to keep some of those things that are resulting in domestic manufacturing, because that's what we want. And that's what this administration wants. So I hope we take a scalpel to it and not just a sledgehammer.
But the energy tax credits, what about them specifically? Because a lot of course, it was called the Inflation Reduction Act. It didn't reduce inflation because it was spending so much more of our money, of taxpayers' money. But the energy tax, the green part of that bill, are you for cutting it or not?
No, look, I didn't vote for the IRA, and I would have never voted for it. And especially the trying to make the government pick winners and losers by telling you what kind of car you're going to drive, by telling you what kind of appliance you're going to use. That's not the way you're to do it. When the government picks winners and losers, consumers lose. This needs to be market driven, and I'm not in favor of that at all.
Congressman, one more for you. 80% of our generic medicines are made, or at least part of it is made in China. You launched the American Made Medicines Caucus. What do you propose to do about that? How do we shift that? Because a lot of Americans feel very uncomfortable about their generics being so much of it being made in China now. How do you bring it back home?
Absolutely. We want more domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing here in this country. Just as we need energy independence, we need pharmaceutical independence. If we learned anything during the pandemic, it was that we cannot rely on our adversaries like China for our pharmaceuticals. That's why we've created this caucus, and that's what our goal is.
And how do you do it, though? How do you transfer the 80% of generics that are made over in China and elsewhere to American shores?
We can do it through incentives. We can do it through making sure that companies have the incentive to come over here and to bring it back here. At one point, we were doing this, and then all of a sudden, because of a number of different factors, companies started going overseas. We need to shift that and make sure that they have the incentives to bring it back here and to have American pharmaceuticals.
All right. Those were the days when there were special credits for Puerto Rico, and so much of it was made there
That's
specifically.
exactly right.
Congressman Buddy Carter, great to see you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.